The concept of value is central in the business world. But when we refer to these terms, what exactly are we talking about? In economics, value is often associated with labor and exchange. Adam Smith, considered by some as the father of modern economics, suggests that the value of a good is not determined by its scarcity, but rather by the amount of labor required to create it. This labor theory of value suggests that the more work a good requires, the higher its value. The French researcher Jean-Baptiste Cantali emphasizes utility in his definition of value. He states that value is the measure of how people make themselves useful to one another. But value can also simply be seen as a kind of perception. It is the result of the accumulation of perceived attributes of a product or service. Let's take the example of an iPhone. An iPhone has features or attributes that make it advantageous. It has tangible attributes such as camera quality, the Apple Store, battery life, its easy-to-use interface, and connectivity between all Apple devices. It also has intangible attributes such as security, trust, and the brand. Together, all these attributes correspond to the perceived potential value of the iPhone. Each of us will have a different perception depending on which attributes seem most useful to us. In other words, value is a perception that varies from person to person. Tangible and intangible attributes often interact in complex ways. For example, a strong brand, which is an intangible factor, can influence the perception of the quality or usefulness of a product, which is a tangible factor. Similarly, a positive experience with the functional aspects of a product can strengthen trust in the brand. The prices associated with a product based on perceived value must always be higher than the cost of production. Our willingness to pay, or willingness to pay in English, will be the main tool for validating this condition, since it is the maximum price a buyer is willing to pay for a given quantity of a good or service. To conclude, the perception of value plays a central role in determining price and consumers' willingness to pay. This perception is influenced by a complex combination of tangible and intangible factors. Companies that effectively manage these relationships between perceived value, price, and willingness to pay are better positioned to define effective and, above all, sustainable pricing strategies.